What does one say to an ancient Nephilim ghost?
I suppose you start with...
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Hello, my friend. Stay a while and listen.
What's going on YouTube? It's Filthy, and we're back with another Diablo 3 Season 32 video. Guys, I've returned back to the workforce. I am now truly a casual player who only gets to play for maybe like an hour and a half a day. This is going to be a guide on how to farm more Ethereals, how to get plenty of them so you can make all the builds that you want, crush the game, really have a lot of fun. As always guys, a thumbs up brightens my day. Now this is not a guide on how to get the achievements, so getting all the Ethereals for all the classes as quickly as possible. Got another video on that on the channel. You make a lower level character, you run through Greed's Realm. As long as you're under, I think, level 13, you should be absolutely golden. You'll get a couple of Ethereals pretty much every time you run Greed. But, of course, we want level 70 stuff, because this is what is going to help us to crush the game. Now, Ethereals, I think they're not particularly uncommon, but there are certain things that you can do to make sure that you're finding more and more of them. Obviously, you've got to find the right Ethereal for your build. You've got to try and get something on your Ethereal that you want that's going to be useful. So obviously, the more you drop them, the better the chances you're going to have. Now, of course, you can get rubbish Ethereals like this one, this Doomslinger, which I can't ever use because it's got the Impale bit on there. And you can always salvage them, and you're going to get good ease out of it. So we got 18 Forgotten Souls and 46 DBs. You can get a lot more than that. It just kind of really depends. You can get Greater Rift keys out of them. So obviously you don't need to store up, like I'm going to go through and salvage a bunch of this stuff. Now, an interesting thing that you can do with them, obviously we showed in the first video we made this season, is you can make them primal. So you can use the last recipe in the cube to upgrade them. And then the other thing you can do, I believe, is reforge them in the cube. You could end up with a primal one. Now, reforging them also basically swaps the power. Oh no, it doesn't. It keeps the power the same. So this one's got the frenzy power on for the... No, it does swap it. I was going to say it swaps it, but it just kept them the same. So I've ended up getting the multi-shot thing here. So this is an okay way of trying to get the particular Ethereal with the particular power you want on. It's going to cost you your bounty mats to do that. Unfortunately, the reason I don't really like this method, and this weapon is a really good indication of why I don't like it, is because let's say you wanted the multi-shot power and you were really happy with the ballistics passive on it. Well, it's rolled with really rubbish 78% damage, so getting a nice one's going to take a bit of time, and ultimately I just think it's probably worthwhile making yourself a primal one. I know, obviously, I said in the video, look, it's a balance, isn't it? If you got a really nice one out of a reforge or a drop, make something else primal. But at the moment, I'm quite happy with that. So that's basically what you can do with them. You can't re-roll this. We can't take this to the Mystic and change any of the stats. So in some senses, because there's only 3 for each class, if you can find lots of them, then you're going to end up just getting basically what you need. So like for the Demon Hunter, Strafe Projectile Piercing is okay. I want Fortress Ballista 1, so a shield. I also want to get a one with the Dawn. Perfect Dawn on would be nice. I presume you can get these to drop primal. I haven't seen one myself, but I have heard that you can get them to drop. So again, we'll just kind of sort of see. Point I'm getting at is you need to find lots of copies of them, because the more copies you find, the better the chance you're going to find something good, and you're not going to have to rely on this strategy of potentially primalizing like 10 or 15 or maybe even 20 or 30 of them to get the correct thing that you want on it, because that's obviously going to be a ridiculous amount of primordial ashes. I did get lucky with my one, but that's kind of by the by. Now, obviously, just playing the game in general, they're going to drop. They can drop anywhere, so they can drop when you're doing bounties, they can drop when you're doing Torment 16, they can drop in Greater Rifts, they can drop when you're pushing. So basically, as always, it's just a question of how can I get the fastest number of items in the shortest amount of time possible. And I think there's only really kind of 2 viable ways to get the absolute most. The first one is to run GR100. Now, the way the game works is GR90, you won't get any more items, so the number of items you get per run stops increasing at 90. If you do 80, you get less than 90. You do 100 though, because whilst you get the same number of items, you get an extra, I think, 1 or 2 legendaries per run. So the fastest way to get legendary items is to do 100. over and over and over again as quick as you can. So what you're going to do is you're going to build your build for like speed. So you would be picking, like I would put on tactical advantage. I would put on the ferret companion because that gives a little bit of move speed. And you would just basically displacement for more move speed. You just jam as much move speed in as possible, provided you can flatten 100. Now what you really want to be doing is to be doing this in like 60 seconds, 90 seconds. Like obviously it's completely map dependent as to what you get. If you get like a festering woods with a nice juicy conduit pylon, a power pylon, because the way the game works is the faster the progress bar fills up there on the right hand side with the purple, the more chance you've got of the game actually spawning you a pylon like this. So you click it, you blast the enemies, and we're now potentially spawning another pylon. And obviously to clear a rift in like 60 seconds, you're going to need like pylons. You're going to need a map that flows well. But this is basically what you would do. You would just simply run this over and over and over again. Now, you'll get some Paragon points doing this, but in terms of XP, this is not the most efficient thing to do. You want to be playing probably at a higher level. So like I'm doing 115s with my character at the moment, and that's giving me a decent mix of XP because I'm not finishing them in this like 60-second range. They're maybe like 90 seconds, 2 minutes, something like that, depending on the map. But I'm getting less runs done. So I'm getting more XP, but I'm getting less runs. So if you just want to find the Ethereals, doing 100 can be a very efficient way. Now, this is not the most efficient way to find them. The most efficient way to find Ethereals is actually going to be doing visions. So visions obviously got added into the game permanently a couple of patches ago. They're just generally great for powering up in terms of gear. And the reason for that is because quite a lot of the time they're quite long. You can obviously get really short ones that just basically, as soon as you jump in, then it's the end and there's nothing more that you can do. And it just ends immediately. You get the goblin and it's one floor. Sometimes you can get like 10, 15, maybe even 20 floors. Just trying to get the vision to spawn. This is my favourite area to get the visions to spawn because there's lots of enemies. And each time you kill one, there's just a small percentage chance that the portal will open. Another area that's quite good is the Fields of Misery. Now, when you're doing this, there is another advantage in that you can get the goblin fields in there for like gems and materials, and this is also the fastest way to find primal items. If we could just get the thing to spawn, I'd say the chances of not getting it to spawn here is pretty low. It normally spawns, but these things always happen when you make videos. Fields of Misery it is, I guess. So if you don't get it, that's fine. It will pop up here on the left hand side when it is done. Sometimes I go through to the second floor just to try and see if I can get it. Another good place to spawn these visions is by basically doing a cow stick. I don't have any cow sticks because I've only played Demon Hunter so far. Right, there we go. Here's the vision. What you want to do when you come in here, if you're just on about finding the Ethereals, is to just skip through this stuff. So I'm not going to pick any of this stuff up. I'm not going to pick up these items. It depends how desperate you are for Forgotten Souls. Now, you just want to use a little bit of judgment. So quiver, I know, is generally an interesting item to me, so I will pick up quivers as I go through. Sometimes I'll pick up things that will only take up one space in my inventory. So, like, I'll pick up that quiver, and we might get like a belt or a ring or something like that, and I would pick it up. If I am new in the season, I'm much more likely to pick up something like a helm, because I'm still looking for nice Gears of Dreadlands pieces so that I can augment. But in general, my goal is to just get through this as quickly as possible. So unless something looks interesting, like ring, quiver, you can, if you want, just skip all the stuff and just blast through it and only pick up the Ethereals. That's going to be your fastest way to get them, because you can just ignore all this stuff. Don't even pick up the boots, whatever, straight onto the next floor, and then you're just going to hope that you get a floor with lots of elites in, and then see where we go. Because you don't have to pick everything up. I know it's crazy. I really struggle with it. And there we are. We're at the end. We didn't get an Ethereal this run. It was quite a short little kind of vision run, but you can kind of get the concept here. If you just whiz through this over and over again, so we'd now basically remake the game. I'd go back to the Temple of the Firstborn, and I would do it like that. And that is the fastest, like if you need a primal to unlock your Altar of Rights, this is the fastest way to get a primal. Just do this over and over and over again. The downside is you get almost no XP from doing this. So whilst this is the fastest way, it's probably not my favourite way, because I'm still looking to get gem levels, I'm still looking to get Echoing Nightmare keys, I'm still looking to get Paragon points. So what I would do personally is simply just whiz this over and over again. Did I not? I didn't speak to Urshi. Didn't get my gem upgrades. So personally, I would just rift, and that is going to basically take a little bit more time to do. But it's got those extra advantages of the Echoing Nightmare keys, the XP, and upgrading the gems, which obviously I've got quite a lot to do at the moment. But if you're just wanting to, you really want to try and put a build back together, and this is the same for anything, if you really, let's say I really wanted a nice 9th series satchel quiver, I could reforge it in the cube, I can roll my shards, or I could just simply blast through Visions of Enmity and just try and pick up only quivers. It's a little bit of a way of like kind of target farming stuff. So what would I do? I do 100 and upwards. Try and find a nice sweet spot for your farming. Obviously it's up to each individual player how they feel comfortably. If you get bored, break it up with some visions. I do think visions are technically the fastest way to get the Ethereals, but you're not going to get any XP. So that's kind of like a balance for you to choose. And as I say, if you want to just get the transmog, make a low level character. Obviously I'll link that video in the description, and that should be golden as well. Hope you found this guide useful, guys. I've been Filth Casual. Take it easy, guys. Peace.